Well, President Trump is hopeful that this talk with Xi is going to solidify what he calls a very good relationship with China. Listen.
I'm speaking with President Xi, as you know, on Friday, having to do with TikTok and also trade, and we're very close to deals on all of it. And my relationship with China is very good. You know, we have a trade deal with them. We had a very good meeting the other day, and it sounds like they've approved TikTok, and TikTok is a tremendous amount of money for the United States, so that was nice. But we'll see how that all works. But if Europe did something with respect to China, I think China would probably maybe force an end to the war.
Michael Pillsbury joins me now. Michael, good to see you. You know, good relationship doesn't necessarily mean that they like each other, but they do know how to negotiate. This phone call's been going on, for all we know, until now, over 2 hours. How desperate is Xi to get this deal done?
Well, from our point of view, David, he should be desperate. He should recognize his economy is moving toward a catastrophe. But he's not that way at all. The Chinese version of all this, including this morning's phone call, they made comments yesterday about the call. Their attitude is, we are strong. We are even stronger in some ways than America. And America better make a deal that we agree to and we like. Otherwise, there's going to be no deal. So we have two very different versions. President Trump saying that Xi Jinping is his friend, and that we have a good trade work now, everything's fine, versus the Chinese view that they're selling to 3 or 4 billion people around the world in what they call the global South, David. They're presenting this view that China is either equal or superior to America already. They also, by the way, they demonized Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is one of the guys very early, did a piece in Fox Business in 2019 that China is our main enemy and we better be careful for what they do, especially on fentanyl. So there's two very different views of this phone call.
Well, you suggest that their economy is in deep trouble, that Xi is not recognizing that, but is his power in trouble because of the problems with the economy?
Well, they've had power struggles in the whole history of the 100 years of the Chinese Communist Party. Usually the Americans are the last to hear about it. There's some trouble with Xi Jinping. We don't quite know what it is. He's firing a lot of people who seem to be his supporters. Yeah. So this can be read in some quarters as these are, you know, this is chipping away at his power base. They don't have a New Hampshire primary or Iowa caucus. You know, they fight it out behind closed doors. And there's something going on with Xi Jinping, but no one seems to quite know exactly what it is. He could use a good deal with President Trump, that's for sure, domestically for the power struggle in China.
All right, next one for you, Michael. Trump is considering to reestablish a U.S. base in Afghanistan to counter China's military. Is this a good idea?
Yes, it's a very good idea. The president has the right, as president, to disclose secret negotiations. Obviously, it's the Taliban who are in control of Bagram Air Force Base. The president also revealed, he said it before, the strategy, that this is 1 hour flight, meaning bomber flight, to where China manufactures its nuclear weapons. China refused to come to the talks in Vienna after President Trump and the Russians invited China to come and try to get a global cap on nuclear weapons increasing. China wouldn't come, and they're increasing their weapons. So this is very much on President Trump's mind. You can see that. Whether the Taliban will want a lot or a little to have access to Bagram, I just don't know.
After all we paid in blood and treasure in order to get that, it's just, it galls Americans that we're not still in control of that. One more for you, Michael. China's defense minister has renewed threats to take over Taiwan. Will China go after Taiwan during this presidency?
Well, they're clearly thinking about it, and this is one of the kinds of pressure they're putting on President Trump. You know, after Nancy Pelosi's trip, they started this process of 10 or 20 jet bombers fly around Taiwan, 10 or 20 ships, Navy ships go around Taiwan. I thought China would stop that. I thought in exchange for the phone calls and the meetings that are upcoming, that China would stop that pressure on Taiwan. It's quite dangerous to have military units so close. They have not stopped it. They haven't even reduced it. So this is another way of putting pressure on President Trump.
Well, are they, final word, but are they spread too thin? That is, with all of the resources they're pouring into Taiwan to a possible invasion, with what they're doing in Latin America. We were talking about that with Gordon Chang earlier.
Right.
I mean, they really are spread out over the world. Is that too thin for what their economy can support?
Well, some Chinese think that there's criticism of Xi Jinping for just that reason. The question is whether they see this really as a 100-year marathon. 75 years already gone, or in the last 25 years. They want to get global primacy over us as soon as possible, ideally the next 5 to 10 years. The American side, I think, in my own view, we should not let China surpass us, especially in artificial intelligence. So that's the nature of the big game here, is who is going to lead the world, and are we going to let them surpass us or not? And this AI chip thing is part of that, David.
Right. I think President Trump is with you on all those points. Michael, thank you very much. Good stuff. I appreciate it. Michael Pillsbury.